happening basically for whatever reason, which I thought was kind of weird, but I guess it fit the story. It went into saying that, that Shane being corporate GM or commissioner, he can't touch his employee. So, what they'll have to make this right, which Daniel Bryan went to go kind of relay that to Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens went on the rant about suing them, and he was like, I'm going to sue them. If they don't get rid of him or make me the new commissioner, I'm just going to go file the lawsuit tonight or whatever, which then made Vince McMahon call Daniel Bryan to tell Shane McMahon that he's now suspended indefinitely. And what do you think is going to come of this? How does this make you feel?
Well, I today was listening at JD from NY206 on his SmackDown Live review. And to me, he didn't agree with the suspension of Shane McMahon. We've seen far more worse stuff that people have not got suspended for, as he was saying, like the whole thing with Roman Reigns and the ambulance, like
right.
What he did to Braun Strowman, like nothing came of that. He brought up Randy Orton burning down Bray Wyatt's compound. Nothing happened to that. But we see Ellsworth get suspended for interfering in the Money in the Bank match. But then by Shane McMahon getting suspended because he, attacked Kevin Owens for saying... Kevin Owens said some pretty, deep things that could.
Right.
And when you're talking about a man's family, especially their kids, and taking some real life stuff there, I know a lot of this is scripted because it's wrestling, but I mean, I don't know many men who will stand there and take you bashing them, their family, and their kids and not really get physical with you.
Definitely, man.
Especially when you already gave him that warning, like, don't bring my kids up again, and he did it again. He knew what was coming. So I thought Kevin Owens was provoking him to do that. I mean, just to get because out of the frustration of he feeling that Shane has been, screwing him out of every opportunity. And then earlier in some of the things they said in their little confrontation was like Kevin Owens saying he never wanted to come to SmackDown. He don't know why he was traded. And Shane was kind of like, hey, the reason why you probably wanted to stay on Raw was because Triple H handed you the Universal Championship on Raw, and he was telling Kevin Owens you have to learn how to earn your championships and stuff like that. So I like this storyline. I like the way it's going. What was your take on it?
Like I said, I didn't understand the suspension thing. I felt like, just 2 weeks ago or whatever, the last pay-per-view, whatever the match was where Shane was the referee.
At SummerSlam.
Okay, so that's right. Last pay-per-view. And it got to the point where he said, like, if you push him, he'll push back. Which I guess maybe it was kind of a leeway because he came in as a referee. Which even then, I wouldn't expect the referee to fight a, wrestler. So for them to make this like their breaking point for having to suspend him, I didn't like that idea. But I guess it fits into the concept of like
you being that person's boss.
Yeah, and then now we're worried about Kevin Owens doing something crazy to the company as a whole, so we have to show that we're going to abide by him. So I don't really know how this is going to turn for their feud. Like, I felt if anything, it'll just boil over into like their next pay-per-view, which is what? Payback?
Hell in a Cell.
Hell in a Cell. Give them the match, which, I mean, it technically can still lead to that, but this whole term and like making it a lawsuit thing, I don't really like it. I mean, even though it does fit for Kevin Owens, because right now Kevin Owens is kind of taking the persona of a whiner, somebody who's who's upset, he's being a brat, and he's going to do whatever it takes to have it his way. So it fits his character. But as a storyline, the plot itself felt kind of rushed to me.
When you brought up the good point of like where is this gonna go? I think Vince McMahon will be at SmackDown Live next week, so it's always big when Vince come, and Vince always have some kind of huge announcement or some kind of news that's gonna change the whole course of how things is happening. So if we do possibly get a Hell in a Cell match between Shane and Kevin Owens, how does Shane get unsuspended? So what are they going to do to bring him back? So some of the rumors that's out there was a possible Hell in a Cell match between those two. But my only problem with that is how you're going to unsuspend Shane. What does he do to get his job back? And then what JD from NY206 was saying today on his SmackDown review, he was saying maybe like I hit that last week with the Survivor Series thing, the 5-on-5 thing. Maybe Shane can assemble a team versus team McMahon versus Team Owens, and the stipulation can be, hey, if Team McMahon wins, Shane gets his job back, or if Team Owens wins,
he beats the commissioner,
or maybe Kevin Owens gets something out of it, or maybe or if his team loses, he has to leave the company. It's gonna be some kind of stipulation versus stipulation type thing. So I think it could lead into that. But my only question is, maybe in the next couple of weeks, WWE will kind of show us. Or maybe even next week when Vince comes, kind of make this all make sense to figure out where they're going to go. Because I think it's going to be a match between them.
Right.
But I think if you do the Hell in a Cell first, they're going to be battered and bruised. Maybe they can't compete. And so that's why they're like, hey, you get your 5 best guys, I'll get my 5 best guys.
Yeah.
And some kind of stipulation is going to be in that match to determine whoever wins gets something out of it.
Okay.
But I like the way it's going. But with me, I just really feel like SmackDown and WWE as a whole has so much talent. Why do we constantly have to put the commissioner in a storyline, Shane McMahon in a storyline, Kurt Angle in a storyline to really push a storyline when we have all this talent that we could be using
definitely to
create big moments, but we're constantly doing like back in the late 90s with the whole Stone Cold Vince McMahon, and you always The Rock and Vince McMahon. It was always in the McMahon. It's always Stephanie. It's always, Triple H having to come back every once in a while to get in a storyline. I know you want to keep it relevant and keep them in the flow of things, but that's taking time away from the talent you have, because that could be someone else in that position.
Definitely. And Kevin Owens, he's definitely good enough of a wrestler to stick with anybody. I think he's proven himself enough, especially with SmackDown. I feel like he can definitely stand his own. He showed it against AJ Styles. He definitely could do it against Randy Orton, which, saying that, I would like to see that match. I would like that. And him and Jinder Mahal, I don't want to see it because of Jinder. But I do want to see it because...
But you like Jinder Mahal, though.
I like him, but I don't like him. I wouldn't want to see that match just because it's just going to boil down to Kevin Owens getting an advantage, Sin Brothers interfere, Jinder Mahal takes that advantage, he wins the match. That's pretty much the dynamic of any Jinder Mahal match. I feel like, even though I do think he has kind of a good skill set, I would much rather him fight alone sometimes, more times than not, which I guess I do understand that the Sin Brothers are trying to keep his title, so I get it for the story.
They were apologizing last week. Oh, we let you down.
Yeah.
We're so sorry. We failed.
We must kiss your feet.
But I would like to see the Kevin Owens, Randy Orton. I think both of those guys have dark sides, but when they get to that level, they can get really extreme with things. So
maybe that could be a random tag team.
Could be.
It's like an angry faction.
Yeah.
Somebody who's just calm people, but when you start
to
cross
the heel Randy Orton better. I mean, Randy Orton okay now, but JD from NY206 calls him Randy Borton because he's boring him right now. He's not really the Orton that we're used to seeing.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's how that went down with Kevin Owens and Shane McMahon. So really wasn't a lot of wrestling tonight. That took up a lot of time, and then the whole storyline with this, and then the big match of the night was Orton versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Winner gets number 1 contendership to face Jinder Mahal. And my thing is, it puts me in a bad mood. And this is why. I know it's been a lot of bad moods tonight for me. But this is sports mood, so it's all about your mood and how you feel about things. So I feel like again, as I said last week, Nakamura should have had his rematch clause. He shouldn't even have to fight to earn a right to get his title shot back. And then, like a couple weeks ago when they had this dream match with him and John Cena to fight. Like, who is Jinder Mahal that people have to qualify to fight him? Like, he's some kind of great champion that people have to earn. You have to earn the right to fight me, the modern day Maharaja. I will speak to my people in my language.
In my language.
So I'm like, who are you, dude? Like you cheat to win every week. So, I mean, like, I understand the whole thing of trying to reach out, like you said, to the, Indian market and all that. But, like, why does people have to qualify to fight you like you're this high, exalted, almighty champion? Like, you got to earn your right to face me.
Here's an idea. It plays on the Indian royalty kind of thing. Like, if you look at his theme package, it kind of has, like, the the Taj Mahal kind of feel, so it's like a real royal thing.
I like his theme music, though.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know what they're saying, but if you ever get a chance, y'all listen to Jinder Mahal's theme music. I like the little beat. It's like an Indian rap song.
It is.
But I don't understand what they're saying, though.
But I feel like maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's the gimmick they're trying to go into. India, he's like the now, like you said, the modern day Maharaja. So I guess that maybe like the prince or king or something.
Maharaja means king in Indian. So I guess I get it, but it's like Nakamura lost, so he should get his rematch. He had to earn a right to fight him to begin with. Then after I lose to him, I got to earn another right to fight him. And, with Randy Orton, like, I thought him and Rusev was going to feud a little bit longer than what they're doing. Their match ended before you could blink your eye at SummerSlam or RKO, and that was it.
But I like that. I must admit, I liked it because...
you're really going to do Rusev like that. John Cena just buried him at the pay-per-view in the flag match, and now you bury Rusev again. What has Rusev done to deserve this treatment?
But you know what's funny? With Rusev being not like a career person, not like a Cena, not like an Undertaker, but his presence pushes people over. Like, for me, that really brought back who Randy Orton is. Like, Rusev took this shot at him before the match, beat him up all around the ring. As soon as the match started, boom, RKO. Like, that's just, it pretty much redisplayed of how dynamic and how effective the RKO is meant to be. Mm-hmm. So, even though I feel like they aren't pushing Randy Orton as they should be, they definitely aren't. He lost this match against Shinsuke. It still lets you know that Randy Orton is a dangerous person. And I think by him losing to Shinsuke Nakamura, it's his way of pushing him over. Because, like, to me, Randy Orton is like the John Cena, the next John Cena. Next guy so if you want to get pushed over, if you want to get over in this company, you would have to go through him. If not John Cena. John Cena will be the top tier. Randy Orton will be like, oh, if you can beat Randy Orton now, you really need to be looking at him.
Yeah.
So
I like that. I like that logic you gave there with Randy Orton now kind of being toward on the back end of his career. I still think he'll be around for a while, but and then he comes from a wrestling family. So, but my thing is, Nakamura is already over. He is. But you do want to continue to push him, and I like these big matches. But like I said last week, you're having it on SmackDown Live. Like, these are like big pay-per-view type matches, like the Cenas and the Orton. These are like, multi-time world champions, and you're fighting this on SmackDown Live. But I understand what they're trying to do with this. But to me, I feel like if Nakamura is going to win the belt, he possibly needs to do it maybe at a Survivor Series. Hell in a Cell is the next pay-per-view. He'll go fight Mahal again. I'm pretty sure Mahal will find a way to slither his way out of it. Yeah, the Singh brothers will get involved or something. But I think he'll win it like at Survivor Series, and I think he'll carry the title on into WrestleMania. And I think I would want to see, like, at WrestleMania 34, him and AJ Styles.
Shinsuke?
And they had a brief little moment at Money in the Bank where they were in there going at it. They fought before, like, in another wrestling organization. But I really think Nakamura needs to win the title, have a huge push through WrestleMania as the champion, and fight some newcomers. Maybe a Rusev, maybe throw him in the title picture here and there to fight him. Maybe another feud with Orton. or then somehow I think Styles before WrestleMania is going to get back in